Right, guys, that's us live. Welcome to the Chairs TV. It's myself, Si Leslie. We've got Alex Kelly, and in Dunoon, we've got Ryan live. How's things, guys?
I am good, Si. How are you? How are you, Ryan?
Doing absolutely fine, mate. Doing absolutely fine. Better than I was this time last week, anyway, that's for sure.
So I'm going to let you guys do the chat now, just whilst I set stuff up. But the main topic of conversation was yesterday's interviews with Barry Ferguson, the interim manager, and today's press conference. And before we start on that, I'll give you my opinion on it. I think whatever anybody thinks of Barry and the coaching staff that he's brought in, I thought the press conference today inspired me with a wee bit more hope than I had over the last few weeks, let's just say. Thoughts on that, guys?
When you go first, Alex? You want me to go first? No problem. I mean, you can tell what an honour and a privilege it is for him. I think he very much appreciates the opportunity he's been given. And I think he understands the gravity of the situation that we're in just now. So I'm hopefully, looking forward to seeing what he can bring. I know a lot of people were talking about Barry's record and his kind of lack of managerial experience. To be honest with you, the fact that he's got any managerial experience at all is for me, is just a bonus. Steven Gerrard came to the club in 2018 with absolutely no managerial experience at all. And we look, what he did for us as far as turning our fortunes around. So I'm very much for it. I'm not looking for Barry Ferguson going to make any friends in the dressing room, to be honest with you. I'm not looking for it to go in there and build long-term relationships. I'm looking for him to go in there and basically kick people's backsides and explain to them that what they've been doing this season, what the way that they've presented themselves in the park, just isn't simply befitting of the jersey.
I pretty much reiterate that, Ryan. It's about standards now, I think, for Barry and his background team, and it's all former players, and he's picked them because the reasons that they're all strong characters. They've got an opinion, they're not going to be yes men. He's already said that. So they're in there just to, bring a bit of positivity back to the dressing room, G them up a bit, and try and get them some performances out of them. But they weren't just players for the club, they were fans of the club as well, and they still remain fans, they're still close to the supporters, so they get the gist of the general feeling of the support. And it's just about, transferring that into the dressing room, onto the players, realise the shirt they're wearing, realise the support they're representing, and the standard of performance has just simply become unacceptable. And now that's why we're in this position where we've been, Mr. Clement, was sacked the other day, and they're in there to guide us through the next 3 months of the season.
Yeah. For me, I'm hoping it's the start of building an identity. So I think that's really what we've lost as a football club. But it seems that we've been doing everything we possibly can to lose that identity. We've lost, characters within the building. We've sadly lost Jimmy Bell. God bless him and stuff. It's a sin what happened to him. But we replaced him with Jim McAllister, and basically grossly dismissed him. So there's certain things like that go on in the building that I'm not happy with. And it just seems that we're doing everything we possibly can to, forget who we were, to be honest with you. And what comes with that is losing our winning ways. So I'm glad to see these guys, two of the guys are actually on the board at the top of the stairs as you're walking up, with McGregor and Ferguson. So they're the two that will install the standards for me, certainly straight away. It's just like you said, it's about, driving performances, driving improvements. And, I'd like to think they're going to be told. There's no kind of fluffing things up and cuddling people and stuff. See, if you're not good enough, you're going to get your backside kicked under these guys. They'll tell you under no certain circumstances, this isn't good enough. And they'll moan at them and they'll demand better. And for me, it's great appointments, to be honest with you. I'm looking back, everyone could have said it. I'm not too, and I wasn't sure when I first saw it. I thought it was better out there, and I had other ideas. But see, now the more I look at it, the more I agree with it.
I think one of the things that I'm looking at is the long term needs to change the culture of the club. That's a big thing for me. And there certainly was enough Scottish influence or Rangers influence. And in terms of that, we can't argue. We've got it.
There's certainly been that. Bethies are right there. The identity of the club has been lost over the years. There's no doubt about that. You see the nationalities of the team that the Clement's been picking of late. There's hardly a Scottish person in it, and that's been a big issue. for the support, because they kind of relate to the players, and the players, they can say, you know, the buzzwords and, you know, that in the press conference, Dessers, I know what it means to wear the shirt and come on, you know, it says, we do know what it means to, no, you don't. You obviously don't, because you don't begin out there with the sort of standards performances the late about your game. I mean, losing at home to Queen's Park is just unacceptable. You know, they're probably what the worst result in our history. And then following that up with the next home game, losing to St Mirren. I think that's the first time that they beat, came to Ibrox and beat us in near enough 30 years. You know, so that sort of results is unacceptable. And I think the board just, they'd backed themselves into a corner. They were hoping that Clement would get us through at the end of the season with the new ownership kind of hanging over the club. But I think the support would you know, basically told them, no, we're not going to watch that rubbish anymore. You need to make a decision. And they've made a decision. You know, that there is supporters out there. I'm a wee bit concerned myself, I'll not deny that. Barry's not a great success. Alloa, Celtic Hearts who did okay, and Clyde, but it's not a great record. Big clubs managing. Rangers is a far different level for that. Neil McCann did okay at Dundee. Billy Dodge did okay at Inverness, but they're coming in with the standards, playing under winning teams. You know, won plenty of medals, won plenty of trophies, played under fast, experienced managers, Walter Smith, Alec McLeish, Dick Advocaat, you know, so that they've got a hell of a background experience with punditry, with analysis, things like that, so that there is positives there. But I also think, let's be serious as well, Ryan. I think it's a cheap option as well, and I think that was a factor in the decision. So that there's a lot of pluses and minuses, pal, but hopefully they get the right response out the players and the team that they're looking for to get us through the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think there was also a risk of actually getting somebody in who, you know, like if they had brought Gerrard in, I don't think Gerrard would ever come in as an interim manager. Sean Dyche, they're never going to come in anywhere near as an interim manager, right? But it's very probable that these are new American owners, if and when. Obviously, we're really hoping that's going to happen. But these guys will probably bring in their own manager and their own management team, right? You know, imagine a situation where it was Steven Gerrard that came in, who a lot of fans really still have a lot of strong feelings towards, and, you know, really appreciate everything that he done for us. And he beats Celtic in the next two fun games that are coming up. He takes us to a Europa League semi-final, quarter-final, final, whatever it is. He does well in that competition. And he turns the tide, and we see improvement on and off the park all round. And at the end of the season, say, right, cheers, Stevie, thanks very much. A lot of our fan base would be up in ears and asking him to get the job on a full-time basis. But in the same token, a lot of people say, no, listen, it's an interim basis. This new guy comes in, whoever it's going to be. Straight away, you've split the fan base. Right off the bat, that you know, the American owners have come in and your fan base is divided 50-50. Half of them want your guy to stay and half of them want him to go. So there's a risk that might happen with Barry Ferguson. I don't think it will, because I don't think these players are going to become superstars overnight. A lot of the damage is already done with them. But I think, like you're saying, it's the cheap option. Aye, certainly, because I don't think these guys will be asking for a lot of money. To be honest with you, I think if you asked them to do it for nothing, they probably would, you know, as well. I certainly would. If it was up to me, I'd be in there, so I'll do it for free. Just let me happen.
It wouldn't we all?
Wouldn't we all? Absolutely. So I think it's a safe option as well as a cost-effective, sensible option as well. We just need somebody to carry the can until the end of the season and just make sure that we don't get any more embarrassed than we actually already are.
Well, that's a big thing. There's a lot of big games coming up. Obviously, we're going to go to Celtic Park in a couple of weeks, but the Jose Mourinho Fenerbahce tie, that could make or break his Rangers management career, because if he gets a win in the 2 games, then you would have to then start saying, hold on a minute, does Davy give him an opportunity to take the job on at the end of the season? I think that would only be fair.
I don't think so, Si. I don't.
I don't know about you, Ryan and Si, but it smacks a wee bit. See, Man United when they turned to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, and he was in there for like a temporary basis, and he did pretty well. I think he won away at PSG and he ended up getting a full-time role with it. But long-term effect, it wasn't probably a great move for Man United. You know, what was he there for 18 months, 2.5 years, something like that. But in essence, it wasn't what they were looking for as a long term. It was a short term kind of basis. I did get a tune, I did get a wee buzz, but these players have been known to do that. I mean, I remember Clement coming in after Michael Beale, you know, 16 months ago, his first game, 4-0, we beat Hibs at Ibrox. Place was buzzing. You know, that this is what these players dated to the new manager bounce, give the support a wee bit of, you know, optimism again. And yeah, here we go again. But see, when you're going through, you know, so many managers in the last 9-10 years, there's something obvious root cause of a problem in that dressing room somewhere where they can down tools and get a manager a sack. That's not right. And I think that the likes of Barry, Alan, Billy and they'll certainly fish that out. If there is bad apples in that dressing room still, they need to be gone, because that can't be happening. We need stability in the club now. We've lost too many managers. We've lost too much money getting thrown to the wall through bad recruitment, through bad decisions. We need to sort the club from top to bottom, basically. And I think the American ownership are doing their due diligence through Patrick Stewart, through our new chairman, and we're really just getting, you know, scraping back the wallpaper and see what really is the problem there in the club, because we need to get this right. We've squandered far too much, and the support base is getting fed up, but there's no doubt about that.
So see, just in terms of what you're saying, Alex, how far do you think we're down the line, guys, with regard to the American ownership? Because every day that I'm hearing press comments on it, I'm thinking we're actually further ahead than we first thought.
I think there was obviously movements with the shares last week as such. Dave King's obviously came out and spoke about it publicly as well, which I don't think he would have done unless he'll at least have an agreement in principle with them for selling them. I think he was at the level where he was asking for proof of funds as well. I think he was asking for, you know, proof of funding to show that they could actually match what they were doing. So I think you'll probably find we're at the lawyers now. I think we'll probably all shook hands in a deal. I think we'll probably at the lawyers now to sort this out. Don't quote me on it. I've got absolutely no information on it, but I don't think it would be in the public domain if we weren't as far along as that. It's pretty obvious that everybody that's at the table wants to do the deal and everybody wants to do business. So what can really go wrong at this stage? The Parks are desperate to sell. King's desperate to sell. Bennett needs his money. Everybody's at the table wanting this done. Not just for their own personal sake, these guys, but also for the future Rangers as well, because they got to remember these guys are Rangers men at heart. King's a Rangers guy, Park's a Rangers guy. Park came across and gave us the money that we needed when we needed it. So the future of the club is basically in these guys' hands at the moment. I'm sure they'll be as keen to do it as everybody else is.
Yeah, I agree with that as well, Ryan. Let's not forget, as you say, that these are all Rangers guys. Very successful businessmen, but unfortunately they don't have the knowledge and to actually run a football club. You know, they've got successful backgrounds with their own businesses, but running a football club is very different from running a car business or a, you know, plumber, electrician, whatever their business background is. It's football. You need somebody in that directors board to also guide them on football matters, i.e. transfers, and, you know, do their due diligence. Don't just trust your manager. And I think that's where, like say, Michael Beale getting basically a free roll. He squandered a lot of money, broke up a team. You know, his transfers, he was getting rid of Cholak and Sakala, you know, to bring in Dessers, Danilo, Lammers, Cifuentes. It just didn't work. There was a lot of money involved in that. There was a lot of contracts getting handed out willy-nilly on the back of Seville, where we possibly should have been looking to sell the likes of Tavernier, Golson, Barisic, Kent, Kamara, Morelos, you know, but we didn't. We gave them new contracts instead and got them to stay a wee bit longer, probably hoping that was going to get more money back to the club for somebody else coming in. It didn't materialise, so we're stuck with them. So these are all kind of poor decisions and reflection, and it's come back to bite us. So now we're kind of, Barry and all them's come in now. We don't have a transfer window. He doesn't have any cash to spend. So he's basically just trying to get a tune out of the players and the squad that he's got to work with now. And I hope to God he does. I think we all do. These guys are Rangers supporters. We're all Rangers supporters. And we're just looking for you know, a better team, a better watch on the park, and obviously a winning start starting at tomorrow night. Right,
You want to go inside?
he's busy now trying to make me a coffee.
To make you a coffee. Never makes me a coffee, you're lucky. What was your thoughts out when I think Ferguson said today he's not going to change the captaincy. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
I would have liked to have seen a change, personally. Tavernier, when you look at his track record, the managers that he's been at the club, I'm not just saying it's his fault, but when he started with Warburton, you then Caixinha, then with Murty for a spell, then Gerrard, Gio, Beale, and now Clement. 7 managers in 9 years. I don't think many other captains would have lasted that long. So Barry had an opportunity there to maybe get to Raskin. I look at the lineup of the team that we picked for the. Thanks, Si. No, you certainly don't. See, when you look back at the lineup, Celtic game just a matter of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, Captain Tavernier wasn't playing and Butland wasn't playing. Was that a coincidence? The 2 leaders in the dressing room wasn't playing that day, possibly our best performance of the season. We win 3-0. Question marks.
Aye, so for me personally, the only change that Ferguson could make, that is the only kind of dramatic change he can make, because like you said, he can't sign anybody, he can't sell anybody. The only thing dramatic that he can really do to make any kind of difference on the park and in the dressing room is change the captaincy. For me, like you said, we're asking all day long, reeks of a Ranger. You know, the way that he conducts himself, you've seen it when he got the captaincy, especially in that game that he said against Celtic there. That wee man was just the proudest guy in Ibrox that day when we won. And you could just see the way he was on about the referee. Usually what McGregor does, McGregor likes to referee the game, and he didn't get his own way that day, because every time something happened, he's right up to the referee. As soon as McGregor approached the referee, Raskin's right there beside him, giving his bit in. And even a couple of weeks ago, where Diamandi had an altercation with Kevin Holt from Motherwell, and he's got another 2 giants standing next to him. Tavernier's nowhere to be seen. The only person that's going in there to back up Diamandi is Raskin, who's half the height of all these guys. That's what a captain should be doing. Your captain should be your leader. Your guy should always have your back. You should always have your players back. You should always have your teams back. You should always have your managers back as well. If it's serious, a bad result, see that bad result on Saturday there. Tavernier should be the person that's coming out and doing the press conference to the team. No serial dessers. So we know he's going to come out and say that he's disappointed, you know, blah, blah, blah. You still need to be the guy that comes out to the dressing room and do it. You're the captain of the club. So
here's a good point, Ryan and Alex. See, because he's not made that decision, see Peter lose the game on Wednesday night and then he drops him, then you're going to get this a bit of rift or the media stuff. It was a perfect opportunity to get a new captain in.
Definitely. As I say,
On you go, Ryan. On you go.
As I say, it's the only change you can make. And for me personally, I think it would have a massive positive effect on it, to be honest with you, because like you said, we've seen the positive effect it had on the team when he wasn't there, as somebody else had the armband off him. And see if he doesn't like it, see if I'm upset. It happened to Amoruso when Ferguson took the armband off him. And I actually probably made Amoruso a better player for us, to be honest with you, in the long run. But I dare say at the time, the big man didn't like it, but he still got on with his job. And ultimately, Tavernier, if he wants to be that professional, he shouldn't need the armband to go on and be the professional.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Totally agree with you there, Ryan. And Si as well. It's Raskin, you know, for the short period that he was the captain, he did show the leadership qualities. He was in the referee's ear, as you say. See somebody in the middle of the park, particularly with the rule change where only basically the captain can, you know, speak to a referee. That's a perfect role. That middle of the park where Cal McGregor shows it week in, week out for Celtic. He's always got an influence on the referee. Raskin was doing that for us, and he did get an opportunity to do it that day. I'm not in favour of the likes of Butland being a captain. Yeah, he might have experience at big clubs and he might have a longevity in his career, but a goalkeeper being a captain is just no for me. And Tavernier, as I say, he's been there a long time. It might actually take him, a wee bit of pressure off of him and just let him get on with his game rather than worrying about responsibility of coming out and speaking to the supporters and shouldering a lot of the blame, because I've no doubt that he has been kind of a lot of mental baggage, you know, cup final losses and big game losses.
But
all
let's
for him,
remember as well,
great.
guys, let's remember this happened to Barry Ferguson, became the captain at Big Amo, got dropped. But Amo's game didn't get affected. Big Amo Russo got on with it. That's exactly what we've been looking for. The captain to be dropped, a new captain in, a new start, and as you're saying there, if he's a proper professional, then he would get on with it. I think that would take
definitely.
100%.
100%. You've been saying it for long enough that it's just the leadership qualities just aren't there anymore for him. I don't even know if they were ever there in the first place. And it's a shame you kind of pinpoint one guy, but there's no doubt about this team's got ability. Right? You've seen it, the ability at Old Trafford when they were pipped to a loss. Unfortunately, should have got a draw. You know, they should have beat Spurs at Ibrox. They went away to Olympiacos. They had a great result. They went away to Nice. So they've had results. So they beat Celtic 3-0 at Ibrox earlier on the season. There's no doubt about it that this team have got ability. There's definitely good players in there. You've got great individual players in there. You've got Eagleman in there. You've got Hadji. You've got Diamandi in these days, a great player. There's great players within the team. What they don't have is the mentality. See if the manager can't install good mentality and good motivation, then it falls on your captain, it falls on your senior players within the dressing room. Right, boys, the managers know, but listen, we've still got a job to do. We've got 50,000 people sitting in there waiting to see us today. We've all got to get right up for this. We've got to go out there and earn our wages. So Tavernier and the team aren't blameless. Clemont's at a job. Van der Hayden and Alex Ray are in dough basically just now. But the team have got to accept a certain amount of blame for what's happened here as well. It's not just all the manager's fault.
So I've got a quick comment come in for Peter McCreary. How you doing, Peter? I think it's a bad decision to keep Tav as a captain. In my honest opinion, we have no backbone in the park. Nothing to do with his playing ability, but that has also been dropping in the past 2 seasons. So that's exactly what you guys are saying.
It comes down to attitude and application. For me, leadership qualities, you know, wearing that shirt, wearing that badge, representing that support, representing yourself, have a bit of professional pride in your own performance, you know, and when somebody isn't doing their job, don't be afraid to dig them out. And, you know, they look at the great teams that we've had in the past, you know, Andy Gorham, David Robertson, McCoy, McCall, Haitley, you know, with a team of captains. And somebody wasn't doing their job, they were digging them out and telling them. But I also remember watching a podcast there a couple of years ago, just going back to what you said earlier there, Ryan. See, we had a loss. Walter made sure it was Richard Gough that was doing the after-match presser, going in front of the cameras and, you know, just apologising to support for that loss. Tavernier is known to shirk a lot of them.
Right, guys, quick call coming in for Lewis here. How you doing, pal? Aye, all right. You all right, mate? Can you hear us all right?
I can't hear him, sorry.
I can hear him. Hold on a minute. Right, none of worries. All need to do is I'll leave it in your end because we're running late. I was going to try and get you on the call, but the next time I'll get you on the third screen. All right? Can't hear me. Right, okay. Right, so carry that on. Sorry, Lucy text is what I call in there. Aye, so that's it. That's the position. Everybody seems to think that was a big mistake that Ferguson's made. Because see, when you look at the guys that are on the park, the guys that he's got as coaching staff, they're all leaders. They're all guys you would say were the feet to shout their mouth on the park.
It's just a missed opportunity, Si. It's a missed opportunity to actually put a marker down. I think every single person that seen him drive in with his Orange Ranger, as it was, at Auchenhouse, like, means business. First thing you'd be like, and you, use that armband. That's not for you anymore. I've just sat there and watched Chelsea season doing absolutely nothing and not encouraging anybody or any motivation for that. That armband's me. Cheers. I'll decide who's getting that. So, and everyone was set up. Everyone was sitting and go, Jesus Christ, this guy means business.
Aye, don't get me right. We have a big statement, but we can't have another manager losing his job for the same captain. It needs to stop. And I think it takes a lot of pressure off of Tavernier doing it. I really do. But it's back to what I'm saying, guys. If we don't do it, we've not done it. And then we get a defeat tomorrow night. And then he does it. You're going to hear all about this. It's going to be because there's always made up stories happening with football, as we know. And it's going to look a lot worse. obviously the manager, Barry seems to think he's going to get a tune at him. It's a bit of a big risk. Okay, what's your thoughts on if he drops the captain and the draw tomorrow night? I think a lot of people would still say at least he had the balls to drop the captaincy.
I don't know about yourselves, but I just see this as an opportunity for Barry to come in and kind of stamp his authority over the club and over that dressing room. You know, the rest of the guys, Alan McGregor, Billy Dodds and Neil McCann, they'll be saying the same. They've been saying the same in their analysis in their respective shows that they've been on. Barry's 18 months being a representative of the club, an ambassador for the club, you know, so he's seen the performances himself, and obviously he'll go around about corporate lounges meeting and speaking to, you know, a lot of Rangers supporters and just reaffirming them about the direction of the club and Guy's own thoughts about he's happy with what he sees, but he's not happy with what he sees. But now he's got that opportunity there to actually make decisions himself for the better for the club, you know, because that's what it's all about. You know, these guys would walk over broken glass to do anything for Rangers. So for that, we can be thankful for. But we just need some sort of direction and leadership there for now to the end of the season. As Ryan says, we've got a couple of big games coming up now. The Fenerbahce home and away, and we've also got Celtic Park to head to before it goes to the split and then back at Ibrox. So we just want to see, you know, a reaction, a good reaction, because this is a difficult fixture going away to Kilmarnock. You know, it's not a great pitch, and they've got to come in it, make it be physical. You know, there is a weakness in the mentality with some of the players, so they need to stand up, they need to fill their jerseys, and they need to give us a performance where we come back for there with a win.
Let's not forget as well, Derek McInnes will be thinking to himself, there's a wee chance for him. I would think so anyway. Yeah. Whether people like it or not, you must be thinking that. Here's a comment came in about these guys. Barry's job is to weed out the ones who ain't fit for Rangers. It might not be too many left, but there's way too many players who can't handle the weight of the jersey. That's a good point.
I would turn that around. I think Barry's job's in there to weed out who is fit for Rangers. Because I don't think you need to weed them out because they're glaringly obvious and right in the face. You don't need to weed them out. I think it's actually trying to weed out the ones that can stay rather than the ones that can go.
Aye, maybe a bit of both. I know what you mean. Aye.
I think, what I was going to say there's, see your only kind of opportunity, well, I don't know if it's the right way to put it, the only kind of scenario is where Tavernier would get taken out of the team, as we spoke earlier on about possibly changing it to back three, and we were kind of advocates of changing. We were losing so many stupid goals, and we were saying that how much do we need an extra centre half in there to stop us losing these. So you could see a situation tomorrow when you get Enciala proper and Suter starting as part of a back three, and that might, you know, negate the need to have Tavernier in the team at all, because you've actually went with a kind of solid fullbacks, forward centre half. That might be something that Barry does. He needs to change something, because at this moment in time it's not working. But he has only had.
Aye, he did say he wasn't going to give his tactics and his formation away. He did say that. But I know what you're saying, Ryan. You might believe that.
Maybe too soon, mate. He's only had a couple of days.
Aye.
It's an opportunity. I mean, he's only had one training session, you know, so changing to that formation, a 3-5-2 or whatever, it takes a bit of work. So that might happen, you know, what, half a dozen games kind of down the line when they get used to the formation. But playing devil's advocate, I mean, there'll be Rangers supporters kind of watching the night and commenting tonight and say, well, why would Barry upset the dressing room that much if there is a rift in there, and if there is, you know, what we suspect, that the leaders with Tavernier and Butland, they've got a big influence in that dressing room. So if he was to strip the captaincy off at Barry Ferguson, is he going to get a reaction that he's looking for, or will they just sulk, you know, because one of our pals has been targeted? You know, so it's not an easy decision for him to, you know, commit with. Personally, I'd be taking the captaincy off him, but I can see why he's maybe not.
I think it was just for me, right? I said, like, sorry, Carol, say.
Sorry, I've always just asked me, in case I forget, a wee shout out for the Let's Talk About Football podcast that's quite new and does a lot of Rangers content. Give the guy a follow. But you saying, Ryan, mate?
What I was saying right at the very start of the show is that he's not in there to make any friends. He's not in there for hugs and cuddles and handshakes. He's in there to sort this out and, you know, causing rifts and upsetting people. Good, because they deserve it, because they've not done their job properly. and they've got yet another Rangers manager, the sack, with lack of performances and lack of decent attitude and just letting us all down and embarrassing us again. So if he goes in there and he falls out with a few people and a few people go to their agent telling them what to move, good, because I'm sick of it.
Aye, no, I mean that's hard to disagree with. I honestly just think the fans have got to a point where I think we're all feeling that way now. The season's a write-off. Whether we can do something in Europe, that's about the only thing that would change it. I'm going to let Lewis come in for a minute. He couldn't have called there, but he's wanting to come in. Lewis, you right, pal?
Right, hello. Can you hear me all right? Aye.
Hey, pal, yes.
Unfortunately, we can hear you.
Aye. Wouldn't argue with that one, anyways. Aye. So I'm going to go back to what you were saying about James Tavernier, about how he should have changed the captaincy. I don't think so. I think that's too big of a change to make, especially in February. I think that would cause a bit of animosity within the dressing room. To be honest, I get what you're saying. There's not much you can really do to change the squad, change it really majorly, especially now at the stage you can't bring any players in. There's not much you can do tactically, really, because I think that would throw the players off guard a bit. But I think changing the captain, especially now, I think that's something that you need to do in the off-season.
So you think status quo, just leave it the way it is?
I think so. As much as I don't think he should be the Rangers captain, I don't think he is captain material, but I think it's too big a change, especially to make in February.
Aye, fair comment. I just think that the fans have had enough of it.
Aye, you know what? I understand that.
See, when we get beat or we draw a big game, you know what the captain's going to say now.
Exactly. It's extremely disappointed and we'll learn from it. That's exact. It's the same stuff every time. And don't get me wrong, I'm sick of it as well. But I don't know. I think it'd just be too much, especially with just a new manager, new inexperienced manager. It's a tough situation. That's a tough situation for any manager to handle, especially someone who's just not new into it, but not got much experience within it.
Well, time as well. What Ryan was saying a minute ago, he only do one real training session, right? He's had to do interviews and stuff like that as well, and he's had to get backroom stuff together. So
he's got a lot on his plate.
Say that again.
I'm just saying, I know he's got a lot on his plate, mate. But anyways, carry on with what you're saying.
No, that was all. I'll just let the guys jump in.
Aye. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Sorry, my phone's at 2%, so if it cuts off, I do apologise.
All right, okay, pal. What you saying? Who's there?
Aye.
Listen, I actually just said that before you come on there. I can see where Barry's coming from. I'll not satisfy a lot of the support because Ryan and I touched on it earlier. We're looking for change. We're looking for him to stamp authority and bring sort of standards back to the club. And what we've been watching has been unacceptable. There's no doubt about that. We've lost another manager with Tavernier as being captain, so it was an opportunity there maybe for him to stamp authority. But again, I can see it for the other side. He doesn't want to lose the full dressing room to try and get results. It's just it's a bit of a disaster this season in home.
Aye, no, exactly. There's nothing really you can do to salvage it. I mean, I guess the only major thing that he can really do now, apart from change of captain, is get a result in Europe against Fenerbahce, especially away from home. That'd be massive, I think.
Well, it will be, but I think tomorrow night's a big one first. He's got to get after a winning start.
Oh, of course. You've got to take it game by game, of course.
I think he'll take a leaf out of Walter Smith's book, who he learned a lot under, and I think he'll try his best. Exactly what Ryan said, that would make this hard to beat. Sort of defence, because that defence is absolutely right at the time.
Aye. Look, anyways, guys, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. My phone's at 1%, so I'll speak to you soon. I'll catch up with you soon.
See you later,
okay,
mate.
Pal. See you later.
See you later. Take care.
Bye-bye.
There we go, back to twos, back to threes, can't count. Aye, so that's most of the comments, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, but I think the majority of fans would have went for the change of captaincy, but it's not happened. What's your thoughts on Alan McGregor coming in with the goalkeeping situation? Do you think he would be more in favour of Kelly getting an opportunity?
No, I think he'll stick with Butland. To be honest. He obviously, I feel for Colin Stewart. Colin's been a long-time servant of the club. His family have been long associated with the club as well, so obviously I feel sorry for Colin losing his job. But ultimately, he's within a group of coaches that haven't performed and haven't delivered what they were asked to. So unfortunately, that's football at the end of the day. But obviously, I feel sorry for him and wish him all the best in his future endeavours. Craigsy, I think, will demand better from Butland. The first goal especially disappointed me Saturday. You can see that the goal was scored. It's kind of from the edge of the box. It's on the striker's bad foot, and it's within the kind of parameter of the goalkeeper's wingspan, as I call it. A goalkeeper at that kind of Butler's levels should be saving that all day long. So it's one of a kind of catalogue in the last few months that we've seen for Butland that he's just there. I don't know where his head's at. He had a decent game against Hearts last week, the week before, sorry. And we're hoping he's turned the corner, but I don't know. I don't know if Casey fancies a game tomorrow night, but
there's a couple of games where we've started after the game in the first couple of minutes. You're saying to yourself, Butland sees no in it. Just looks all the place. And there's other times, as you said, he's been outstanding.
It's Butland's like the rest of the team. It's just been inconsistent performances. You need a consistent performance to give yourself the best chance of getting a win. There's been far too many inconsistent performances, not just through Butland. You could go basically right through the full team. I mean, the likes of Yefty started off the season very well, and he's went through a patchy period. Diamondi's been through that patchy period. Injuries has obviously forced us to change a lot of the team. Again, that comes with inconsistency, and then obviously adding youth into the team brings inconsistency as well. So we need to get consistent teams out in the park. A good spine of the team that's basically going to be there every week. 5, 6, 7 players that's there every week, and maybe change, minimal changes. And that's what the best teams seem to do. So it's getting that level of fitness, performance, consistency.
So guys, see the new coaching staff that we've got now. 2 of them were ex-managers, is that right?
Dodds and McCammer managers.
Aye, they were managers, right, and obviously Barry Ferguson as well. So that's 3 of them that have managed. So they must know something. It's all right, everybody writing them off and going like that. That's the old pals act and everything else. They've done it. They've played at the highest level and they've managed with these teams. And as well as that, you've got McGregor coming in, who, if nothing else, is that they've got passion. That's one thing about these guys. They've got passion.
He's played more times in Europe for us than Al McGregor side.
Right. There you go. Good start. He should have played in the 2 European finals as well. Got injured.
Yeah, he played in one. He missed the one in Manchester.
Aye, he should have played that, but obviously he was injured.
And done his ankle. He done his ankle saving Zamaras's penalty before it. Neil Alexander played the goals.
Aye. So I mean, it's all down to opinions. I get the fact that the supporter are angry and stuff like that, but realistically, who would people think what they're going to bring in? If you're sacking the manager, me and Alex were talking about it before we were on air. It's became a bit of a poison chalice, and you're asking somebody to come in for 13 weeks. There's no many managers are going to say aye to that.
Aye. See what you were saying about the goalie there, for Liam Kelly over Jack Butland. To be honest with you, see some of these nothing matches that we're going to have at Ibrox, I'd rather give me some money. A week ago, to be honest with you. We know what we're going to get with Liam Kelly.
Aye. Well, that's one thing about Barry. Sorry, Alex, to say. The one thing that Barry will do, I think he will give youth an opportunity. I definitely think guys like Billy Rice, Munn, will get a chance if the big hitters don't do it anymore. Ferguson's not going to lose it.
I think Barry actually intimated that today in his presser that there was an opportunity there that he was going to get the use. Young Finlay Curtis. I think Bailey Rice will start featuring more. Connor Barron maybe would come back for his injury. There is definitely opportunities there for the academy players to make their mark on the squad. Obviously, there's a lot of them being let go there in January just to encourage their development at other clubs. So hopefully the likes of Cole McKinnon and that come back a better player. Young Archie Stevens and that, really like him anytime I've seen him. So there's definite opportunity there. It's just a clean slate now. I think he's going to give everybody, and they've got to prove yourself that you want to have a future at Rangers, including Barry and the rest of the coaching staff. Because if Barry isn't getting kept on as a permanent manager, the new owners not coming in, hopefully. Barry might get kept on as a coach, to have that sort of stability in the club. keep the guys in the club, in the surroundings, Alan McGregor, Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, and see, rather than change like the full structure or the infrastructure of the team, the coaching capacity, instead the guys like Gio brought in like 8-10 staff or whatever, and everything went then. Keep the guys in the surroundings of the club, tell them a formation that we want to play with. We didn't like the 4-2-3-1. We want to be more attacking. We want to see two up front. If you've having to change your manager, at least these guys are going to be the constant in the dressing room to feed on the messages of previous, which worked in the club, which no worked in the club, and you can then maybe use his experience and coaching capacity for the benefit of the team going forward.
Aye. Quick comments came in there. Hugh Hepburn Duff saying there's a massive difference between being a manager of Glasgow Rangers as of being a manager of Alloa, Celtic, Hearts, Clyde, and Inverness. I think the point that we were trying to make though there was, we agree with that. However, the brought guys in that at least have managed in Scottish football. It's not just a case of they've never got any experience on it. But apart from, how many other clubs could you say that you could manage before being the manager of Rangers anyway? It would be a massive step up, but I do agree with the point he's making. But I'd still stand by what I'm saying. Who was going to come in? I don't think there was that many options.
Well, who's sat there side, who's available, who'd be willing to do it, who's sat there and watched us for the majority of the season as well? Most of these guys will have actually been, McCann's obviously doing the TV for us. Ferguson's going to be there pretty much every game. What's that?
Senior pal feeding in Neil Warnock.
I do.
Take it. That's what I think. It's a big pressurised job, and they're playing on Barry's heartstrings because it could make Barry look bad as well.
Absolutely.
It's a bit of a gamble. It is trying into it. It's definitely a bit of a gamble in the board's sense. But what was the options for them though? Continue as it is, and obviously the crowds would probably dwindle, and then they come back maybe for the Old Firm game or the Fenerbahce game, but don't attend the likes of St Mirren's, Ross Counties, Motherwell's, Ibrox.
Well, exactly what you're saying there, Alex. Right? See if this 49, I think the 49ers deal has gone ahead. They're not going to want Ibrox completely empty because they never get rid of the manager and replace them. So you're probably right with that they've had to go ahead and there and get something done quick.
You seen it on Saturday. Patrick Stewart's come out during the week and wholeheartedly backed them on and really kind of put his neck in the line and said, we're backing this guy, blah, 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 this, that, the next thing. And then he delivers them up a plate of shite Saturday. So he had to sack him. He's basically made a fool of Patrick Stewart with the performance the team's delivered on Saturday. And I left after the second goal, and it's not like me to kind of go up and walk out again, to be honest with you. I'll try and always stay to the end if I possibly can, obviously travel allowance and stuff like that. As soon as that second goal went, I couldn't get out there quick enough. And I turned around, when I got to the wee Rangers, I turned around and looked back on Edmiston Drive and half the stadium's out behind me as well. It's a shambles this Saturday. And Patrick Stewart would have seen that and said, right, I need to do something about this here, because all my customers are walking out.
Aye. And he's also done that statement the week before, Patrick Stewart, saying that everybody's job's on the line if they don't perform. So he's in.
Clemont's made a fool. Clemont's made a fool of him. And the player's just as bad.
I was just going to say that. I put it to the two of you that I think it's more to do with the players. I think they're down tools on Clement. And I find that unacceptable.
Aye, that's why I want a big clear out at the end of the season. We can't clear out the new because there's nothing we can do player wise. We have to stick with them or get the youth in. But getting the youth in the new, there's no that great quality with the youth that I would be confident enough to get the results. So we could take a few hidings doing that. But at the same time, too many of these guys have got too many managers to sack. It's too consistent. It's happening too often. So, any more thoughts on that? I think that's for the night, guys. We're having a note. But no, we've got another 10 minutes to go. Just a couple of comments came in there a minute ago. I was going to read this one out. I'll put it up here so you can see it. Guys, what you say about the youth, I think that's why Stephen Thompson has been brought in. A very good level-headed coach with the youth teams. I think that was quite a popular decision. And
Kevin Thompson, I think he means. Is it not Kevin Thompson he means?
That's Kevin Thompson. Stephen Thompson's the one that played with Dundee United, wasn't it?
Yeah, he went on to finish his career as a mum. He's on the telly now, he's on the BBC.
Aye, so Kevin Thompson. That's been quite a popular decision, that bringing him as a youth coach. With we're going to have to focus on the youth team, or if we don't, then this thing with the 49ers, everybody's expecting just to throw money at Rangers. There's a financial fair play league out there. We can't just do that.
I know you're
Still get it
100%.
for
So the financial fair play line, I don't know if you're aware of that, but this is not a quick fix going forward. You know, that
No, I can't.
whatever our income is, and they can't spend above that. So that was the reason why Clement was tasked with reducing the wage bill and get all the high earners out the club. But because of that, he lost a lot of his leaders, and the team have lost a lot of experience. We spoke to, I believe, 64 players at the start of the season, but because a lot of the coping and that, the players, they were digging their heels in because they weren't moving on. Well, that's came to the last week of the window, and that's when the likes of Golston and that kind of moved out. But a lot of the players that they'd already spoke to had already tied themselves up with other clubs. So it basically only gave them 2 weeks to prepare for the Kiev game, which was at Hampden, no Ibrox, and then 3 weeks to prepare for the Celtic game. So it was a horrible start to the season. But he was also left with a chairman, a CEO, head of recruitment, head of academy. He was the front guy that was getting fed out in front of the press all the time. So it's been a horrible situation for Clement. I really do feel sorry for him. I know he's picking up a decent wage, and I know a lot of supporters out there didn't feel sorry for him, but I thought it was on a hiding to nothing for me. And basically, the players threw him under that bus on Saturday.
But also, see, when you're saying it, Alex, I also feel as if that he was a beaten man. See, by the weekend, when I watched his interviews and stuff like that, I actually think he was a beaten man. I think he knew the end was near. And that's obviously due to the players letting him down, obviously. But I think he knew he lost the dressing room at that point. And that's when you've got to, at some point, you've got to question the mentality of players. And I've seen a thing for Todd Cantwell making a joke about it as well on social media. So you'll probably find that some of the players found it funny. It's costing us more titles and more trophies.
It's just the situation, Simon. You sometimes fail to recognise your club anymore. You know, the job that Clement applied for, I don't think actually existed. You know, would he have applied for the job knowing fine well that he would have the budget constraints that he'd had, the expectations of what he was got? So I think he was let down badly by the owners and the board of the job he actually applied for, as far as what funds would be available to him. I then thought he was.
They done that for the last couple of, well, maybe not so much Beale, but I think you're right, Ryan. But I think he done it with Gio as well.
Well, I thought that. Sorry.
No, definitely. The two are bang on there. Gerrard, you can actually trace it back to that. See, when you remember picking up the trophy and sitting in the steps, Ibrox talking to Walter, Souness, McCoy, Boyd, you know, fix the roof when the sun is shining. I've had discussions with the board. They promised me money, this and that. Never materialised, because at that time Ross Wilson was new in the club. He was in the year, I believe, Douglas Park, and they started moving goalposts. So recruitment wasn't, our manager was picking it. It was Ross Wilson for me, and they done the exact same with Gio. He was getting targets here, there, and everywhere. I mean, a full Dutch staff that he brought into the club, and not one Dutch player. Nah. For me, Gio got shafted in that one, and then they brought in Michael Beale, and then you know, entrusted him with the recruitment, the manager, and everything. And that's when things was just a complete disaster. So mismanagement, absolutely. But now we're at the point now where we can't get any lower, I don't think.
That's why I think we need the fresh injection with the board. And one thing, I know a lot of people slag Dave King off, and I don't know a lot of time from. I kind of like the guy, but what I will say about Dave King is, if he can pull this off, and we get the 49ers in, the board have done their time as well. Most of the guys in the board that are going to leave, I think it's just good for everybody at the club. But back to what you were saying earlier on about the Steven Gerrard situation, I think Dougie Park took a risk, basically saying to him, "I'll give you money." After that interview, you're talking about, "I'll give you money once you beat, or if you beat Malmo in the Champions League," and he took a gamble, and these gambles never work for us.
Truth be told, we should have beat Malmo that night.
Aye, I don't get that, but I think that's what I'm saying. I think he pissed off the manager as well. We don't give him the money up front.
It's just broken promises. It's broken. It's just a catalogue of letting managers down. So this is where the kind of term investor fatigue kind of rings true. That, you know, Park and King and stuff like that, they've come in, they made sure the club was taken out in the wrong hands and put into kind of, well, Rangers hands, if you like, with Rangers guys. And, you know, I dare say they wanted to come in, stabilise it, stop 10 in a row like they did, and get out again, get out quickly. But I think what they had to do to fix it and stop 10 on the amount of investment, you know, they had to obviously these bad contracts and stuff, and maybe stretching ourselves too much, we probably made the club an unsellable, you know, asset as that. So,
and also, just when you're saying about feeling sorry for Clement, which I get that 100%, but if I'm looking back, I feel sorry for Gio. Some of the football at the end was dire, but a good point. They Dutch players bought, so maybe he didn't get to buy any of the players. Maybe he had to work with what he was given, but he took his within minutes, but 10 minutes away from winning the Europa Cup, and that's a feeling that I will probably never get again in my life. So I feel sorry for him on that.
just a shit.
Aye,
Got a goalkeeper shin, one penalty.
Yeah, definitely. But it's the same old story, though. See, you look back at the end of Gio's tenure. You know, the players let him down badly. The performances were putting in, drop points at home to Livingston, away to Ross County. You know, it killed them. They done the same after that with, who was it again, Bale after that?
Aye.
And then done the same at the end of his tenure. Although I don't believe he should have got the job in the first place. I think he was just, you know, like a car salesman. He was fully good.
See the way he appeared at Ibrox, not that when you look back on it now.
Oh, it's shocking.
That, when you look back, that's a bit shitty for the Gio. He really was treated badly as well.
Aye, well, Stuart Robertson and Ross Wilson, I believe, were behind that. But it was ridiculous that he showed up at Aberdeen that day. And also, again, Clement. The players have got a lot to answer for me. So this is where we go back to the start of the programme tonight, Ryan. That's why we think a lot, you know, Barry should have come in there and been more decisive in decisions. But we'll see where it goes. It might be a right decision. Hopefully it is. And I hope the guys do well and wish them all the best for the rest of the season.
Aye. All we can do, Alex, is just basically go there, support, sing our hearts out, and just that's literally all we can do. We can have these podcasts and we can have these discussions. Ultimately, all we can do is show up.
No, you're right, because the one thing, I'm not having a go at the supporters for the walkout there like that, because they're back to Union Bears for that at the time. But it's not the time for that now. We've got guys in that they're coming in because they're Rangers men more than anything to try and bail us out to the end of the season. If you want to protest, don't turn up for the games. But I don't think it's a good idea now to be negative in any way, because it's probably going to be strap in, put the seatbelt on. It's going to be a hard 13 weeks. But the Rangers supporters, we're going to need to take it. I think we need to stick with them.
We're supporters at the end of the day. We're loyal. So let's prove it again. Get behind the club.
So tomorrow night, before we go, what's your predictions?
You go first, Alex.
I'll go first then.
I'm not going first.
Manager syndrome in it. I've got a funny feeling that these guys know that they're out their arse at the end of the season if they don't pull up their socks, and I think Rangers will win. But unlike most people, I actually rate McInnes as a manager. I think he's a good manager, and I think he's a good guy, and I think he'll be well up for it. So I think it's going to be a really good game of football, and I'll go for 2-1 to Rangers. Alex, pressure question.
Aye, it's going to be a difficult game. I'm no doubt about that. I mean, McInnes, as you intimated earlier, he'll see this as maybe a wee, you know, job opportunity for him, you know, to put himself in the frame in the future. He knows how to set up a team. McInnes, you know, he's not a great budget to work with at Kilmarnock, but he's got an eye for a player. He's definitely organised. He'll make it difficult for us. That park is just horrendous. So he'll try and drag the Rangers players down to their level and make it as difficult as they can. I mean, they're strong in set pieces with corners and free kicks. Prediction. I'm hoping for a Rangers victory, but I can see a draw, to be honest with you. I'll go for one each.
Right.
Okay, well, first of all, I hope Barry Ferguson does the business against McInnes to take him out the running for any sort of ambitions he has for the Rangers job, because I like to think we'd be looking for something a lot bit more than McInnes, to be honest. Nothing against Eric. I just think we should be aiming higher as Rangers. 2-0 for me. I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0. I think he's going to really concentrate and making sure that we're showed up at the back, hard to beat. I think we'll win 2-0.
Well, guys, just before I finish, we always try, Ryan, I know you've been on a few different podcasts in the last few weeks. We always try and promote other Rangers podcasts and shows. Just to say a quick thanks to Alex for coming along. Alex, you want to tell us a quick few things about Rangers Radio?
Thanks again for the invite along there, Si. I've been part of Rangers Radio, the podcast, for a couple of seasons now. So guys are really good. Whereas, you know, you get them on Facebook and YouTube 8 to 10 most weeknights, and obviously match days as well. So no, I really appreciate the invite again, Si, and a pleasure speaking to yourself as well, Ryan.
No problem at all.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Have a good night, and hopefully get a result tomorrow night. Win, lose or draw, we are the people. Good night.
Cheers.